gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGD.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, everybody, to the long-awaited finals of the DotaPit European Qualifier. It's Team Secret versus FlipSid3 in a best-of-5. FlipSid3, having dropped down by Team Liquid in the beginning of this group, managed to make the comeback all the way through the losers bracket and are now here in this final against Team Secret. I'm Capitalist. I'm going to be joined by CCNC, who's going to be a co-caster once again. CC, I reckon this is going to be a pretty exciting finals, man. FlipSid have seemingly turned up to this qualifier with the way they just put one over on Liquid pretty hard.
Yeah, for sure. Not having a great start, but getting their act together and really just like playing as a team unit. Russian teams typically are pretty crazy, and do some wacky stuff, but them really playing cohesively and taking it to Liquid. So. Yeah,
they just look all around strong. Their team fighting seems like really excellent. Their positioning. I remember like one was it game 3, I think. There was this moment where Team Liquid was trying to push down the enemy safe lane tower, right? So they were at that bottom Radiant tower, and they did the whole wraparound thing. They had essentially FlipSid kind of trapped underneath that tier 1 tower. And they were poking and prodding, and FlipSid were never out of position, never giving Liquid that opportunity to pounce, get the pick off, and then take the fight underneath the tower. It was very fun to watch the way the FlipSid3 were able to masterfully take team fights against Team Liquid. And we'll see if they're able to do the same here against Team Secret. We have a draft, though. A first pick Lion going to Team Secret, Nyx Assassin, and Warlock, as we saw quite a bit of those two heroes in the last series, is going to be picked up by FlipSid3 in response, and Ogre Magi is now the second pick for Team Secret.
Yeah, Secret supports aren't too great at zoning right now, so Shashlo typically thrives quite a bit whenever he has a good start in the offlane, so they don't only have too many ways to get this Nyx out of the lane so far, so probably going to be a good start for him.
Yeah, he put on one hell of a showing with that clockwork. That was really impressive what he was able to do. The Nyx Assassin has been... What exactly is it about Nyx Assassin that has all of a sudden made him such a popular pick?
I think people just realize that hero is just a massive pain to zone out of the lane. Takes like a really strong lane support or like multiple heroes, both your supports and your safe laner, to commit to try and zone him out the lane. He can jungle decently well with an Iron Talon, just like every other hero. And whenever he hits level 6, it's just constant pressure on the map. It makes everybody have to farm less because they never know where he is. The mana burn is like dope late game. He has a stun. Just all around pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like the Spike Carapace in particular seems to be quite value for teams nowadays. I was watching over the Chinese Summit qualifiers finals recently, and the way that Nyx Assassin was just so heavily valued, like first pick every single time, is pretty tough. Let's see, we're gonna have ourselves a Slark now banned away, the Lifestealer, as well as the Juggernaut taken out of the pool by FlipSid3, taking away some of the more aggressive carries. What about the Warlock here? The Warlock has been another support that's been really rising in popularity. Why exactly?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just people realized how strong Fatal Bonds actually is. That spell not being really utilized that much in the past, but everybody sort of realized that, you know, you cast on a couple of heroes and you burst down like one of the tanky heroes. With a lot of the offliners having pretty high HP counts nowadays, you focus on that hero and it just brings everybody really, really low. Works well with a lot of the other AoE, especially teams nowadays with a lot of team fights, so a lot of AoE damage, splits even more with the Fatal Bonds. And he's also just a pretty good laner with the Shadow Word, helping keep your carry up if there's like a lot of trades going down.
So because we're seeing so much 5 versus 5 and Warlock is one of those kind of heroes that outputs a lot of, whether it's, you know, a little bit of control with that ultimate, a lot of damage with the Fatal Bonds you're talking about, a little bit of CC there with the slow of upheaval, which can be pretty powerful in the right conditions. It seems like Warlock is just like, people have realized, like, man, this hero can win us team fights, and that's what's most important right now.
Yeah, and it's also just because a lot of the heroes are very team fight centric. There aren't that many heroes with low cooldown ultimates that can punish whenever his ult is down. You can also shove out the lanes with the rock while you just have the golem walking around, so it's hard for them to get to your towers and try and force something to you while the rock is on cooldown. It's just it's a very small window that you have to capitalize when the ult is down, and when it's up, it's super hard to team fight.
Well, Doombringer, there's another sort of support. We've seen him being picked up as a forward position quite a bit. He's another hero, another support that can kind of single-handedly win you the fight, right, if he gets the right kind of initiation. And again, he actually has the same exact thing as Warlock, which is this really, really long cooldown that it seems like teams haven't been able to abuse just yet. But the way Team Secret's ramping up, I don't see any long cooldowns. They're kind of shaping a kind of lineup that is always going to be ready to fight and might be able to abuse those 2 long cooldowns of Warlock and Doom.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that's the route they're taking a bunch of heroes that just sort of run at you with a whole lot of disables, Avalanche, Earth Spike, Hex, Fire Blast, just gonna skirmish a lot and try and burst down these heroes with long cooldowns before they can get them off.
Well, flip side tactics. In your opinion, what do they need to? Because Tiny is not a hero that we see a whole lot of. What's going to be value against a Tiny here?
Not really sure. Take My Wild typically plays slightly more farming oriented heroes, not really too much of a playmaker. So they may be looking for a really strong laner to shut down this Tiny. The Doom may also start mid, try and find one of those Golems, just throw a bunch of rocks at him. Because Tiny, if he has a good start, is a really strong hero, but that hero is extremely easy to zone. I think the Tiny may actually be offlane. Foreb's played it in the past. I don't think it's typically a mid one hero. They try and do the cheeky like offlane toss pull thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think this may actually be an offlane Tiny.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense to me, right? Because it feels like if you can make the laning phase work, it feels like it fits the what is the offlaner's role right now in the game, right? Which is oftentimes he's a little bit of a tempo controller. He's oftentimes your initiator. That's why you were seeing heroes like Axe, you know, predominantly being picked up. Nyx Assassin, another good example. So if Tiny can make that offlane work for him, he would be a similar kind of hero, decently tanky, blink dagger, and will always be able to initiate fights for you. Flipside tactics, though, are going to go for a little bit more of a farming mid, as suspected. They go for the Invoker, which is immediately countered by Team Secret's choice of the Templar Assassin. So you're completely right, CC. Unless this is some sort of weird safe lane Tiny, we are going to be seeing Templar Assassin controlling mid, and our safe laner has yet to be determined.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent TA game. Very good versus Invoker in the lane. As the game goes later and later, it becomes slightly less good, but Team Secret has enough disables to where they can get on the Invoker and TA will be able to actually get hits off, you know, without getting tornadoed. Cold snap, stuff like that. So not too many disables on the flip side other than those big ultimates. So if Team C can get the jumps, then TA should be able to burst heroes down pretty easily and then sort of chase people down with the traps. Once again, sort of fitting into that, we're going to fight you nonstop and not let you wait for your big cooldowns, let you get your items up.
Well, Flipside Tactics seem to have read the situation pretty well. They're going to ban away the Ursa as the safe laner. That would have been a nice hero. Again, dire side, so Roshan would have been readily available, and it's another hero that doesn't have any high cooldowns, so would have been actively looking to fight from 20 minutes forward, sometimes even earlier. Void is going to be the ban out by Team Secret, one of those big AoE controlling ultimates that can win you a team fight and set up the Invoker and Warlock and even the Nyx Assassin to be able to land their spells. So we're going to have to see a different kind of safe laner for both of these two teams. Anything that's on your mind for either one of these teams, CC?
I'm trying to think. A whole lot of the carries have been banned. There's like Anti-Mage left, but it's okay this game for Team Secret, but it sort of doesn't really fit with how they want to be playing. TA and AM are also pretty okay.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you if Terrorblade was an option for Team Secret, because I figured you could use some pushing power about right now, right? Like you want to be able to try and use this aggression, and then like you've got this 4-hero aggression that has no cooldown, then, and then you also want to be able to take objectives as early as possible, but Team Secret instead go for the Lycan, a pushing hero that we have not seen a whole lot of in this match.
Yeah, he's sort of fallen out of popularity. Sven. Pretty easy to shut down in lane. A lot of dual lanes nowadays. Lycan's a really, really weak dual lane hero. Needs a good start. Needs to be able to get the high levels in Wolf so we can actually go jungle and start like pressuring lanes, taking towers and stuff. But in a game like this where it's going to be most probably a solo Nyx offline, the Doom may be rotating later on, the Lycan will be fit to fight by then. So, also like you said, they need a pusher. Lycan's good at running into heroes and just sort of running at people. So, a pretty good pick.
And how do you feel about the Sven's response to the Lycan and the way he's able to deal with the hero?
I mean, Sven's definitely really good versus Lycan. The Warcry works super well versus him. Makes him sort of a kitten for however long the Warcry lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Good at of course a stun versus the Lycan. You really need those where he just sort of runs rampant. Also good versus the TA. A tanky hero versus a lot of their bursts and stuff. So good pick.
All right, so the team's already setting up. We had a very early smoke and TP rotation, as is pretty standard right now. Pylai did manage to guess the Observer Ward preemptively, but he may not be expecting the extra insurance that was like, or maybe he will. Counter Ward going to be laid down on both sides of the camp, covering both the Observer Ward as well as the Counter Ward, so both of them taken out of condition.
Wow, what a legend. That was really nice.
That was very nicely played.
Another really nice thing about the Sven pick is whenever you get the HOD, you can get the ice armor creep, put it on everybody. It really, really makes it hard for the Lycan and the TA to do really that much, because they both are like 100% physical damage, and they have issues getting slowed down, slowing the Lycan's right clicks down, so not making him have to run more, making his ult tick down, and then the ice armor just completely owning TA. So he may look to get one of those in the mid game.
Wow, juggling a little bit as he makes his way over to the mid lane. Do you think that the Lycan is kind of trying to? I mean, he's definitely been a little bit countered by the Sven pickup and the Warcry, and then you also mentioned the Frost Ogre and that armor that's going to come through. But he at least won't have to worry too much about Doom as well as Upheaval, right? Like he's kind of one of those heroes that pops everything, and he doesn't really care if he gets doomed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely, it's sort of a 50-50 split. Not great versus some of the heroes, but really, really good versus others.
Mm-hmm.
Also really good versus this Invoker, a hero that doesn't like to have people like on top of him, likes to have his space, be able to get his spells off without being forced to pop the Ghost Walk early on. And also a hero that goes Necro 3 very often, so also making that Ghost Walk sort of meaningless.
Yeah. Forev is going to be sitting here in the off lane as a Tiny. Now, he did pick up the toss, but it looks like they're trying to make the lane work with the help of Puppy's Ogre. He's currently trying to bully Roger back as best as possible and give Forev the space to get a couple of CS. Meanwhile, mid lane, poor Midwan is dealing with the tornado coming out from Vanscore. He ate the Wild Wing Ripper and decided to take the 30 seconds to harass Midwan and mid and give Tame My Wild as much space as possible.
Yeah, these early waves are definitely the hardest for the Invokers, so securing some early CS for him, definitely huge. Dealing with the tornado is just so obnoxious, just M-click it on him, and it just goes woo woo woo, and you lose all your HP, instantly burns refraction, ticks.
Poor mid one. I wouldn't be surprised if Vanscore keeps this tornado for the next round. and just holds off on the Devourer. We'll have to see if he's really that invested to keeping mid one down. He's definitely been one of the kind of powerhouse players for Secret, so I wouldn't be surprised if they prioritize trying to shut him down in lane as much as possible. Our Nyx Assassin is dealing with a Lion and Lycan lane, but it seems like he's doing all right for himself. He's about to pick up level 3, and you've already mentioned how Shochlo, when he is able to have a good laning phase, can just go off in those first few rotations.
Yeah, it's not really a lane that can zone a Nyx Assassin. Too much base regen. He has 2 mangoes as well, so 6 HP regen with no tango going. It's a tad, and not really any kill potential to Lycan. Like we said before, not a hero that's great in lane, not a hero with a lot of kill potential or good at zoning offlaners, so this Nyx is going to have a pretty good time early on.
Ogre already trying to stack up to help Midwan get back into this game a bit more, as he's going to have to deal with the second round of the Tornado. Vanscore, he did use the Devour, but lucky him, he found yet another Wild Wing Ripper.
That's pretty lucky.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty happy camper at this point. Midwan, probably not so much. This off lane, Tiny seems to be going pretty well. He's level 3 and dealing with a lane that seems to have been pushed back enough that it feels like Forev can just kind of continue to win this situation.
Yeah, Forev, looks like there's a little bit of harassment coming out, but like in recent games, him playing on Secrets, and then just seeing him play in pubs, 8.7 KMR, just makes so much happen with very, very little. Very rarely dies. A conservative player, but then also is able to make big plays when he needs to, sort of reminiscent of almost a Universe playstyle, just like super duper effective, and rarely makes big mistakes. Like always is just super consistent. Definitely a player you need to be scared of.
A little bit of a go here onto the Nyx Assassin. Might be able to finish him off here. The Spike Carapace gives him a little bit of space. He does have a Mango to go for the stun. He's going to try and dodge his way through the trees. Does so excellently and will still be able to make out. Unbelievable. Oh, he barely gets clipped by the stun, though, and will end up going down. That's going to be the first blood.
That was almost the juke of the century.
That really was. I was like, wait, what? Like, how does he just hide in those trees and they can't quite find him? But almost managed to make it work. Vanscore, he was making his way up to top lane too, so if Shochlo had actually survived, maybe they could have done something. Maybe they still can. MP, they're trying to hit the stun here desperately. He will manage to lock it down, and now Vanscore might just be able to run him down with the extra movement speed and damage over time of Scorched Earth. A little bit of a heal though, and he's good. Healing Salve will stay alive. Puppey makes the rotation up to top lane though to boost this safe lane.
Yeah, Vanscore also accidentally misclicking the Tornado, so puts it on cooldown, also has enough mana to devour, so he'll have to go back to base now. Not really much he can do.
Forev going to be pushed out. Combination of Shadow Word and Fatal Bonds. It's going to make him go all the way back to the fountain. In fact, oh god, is he actually dead? Oh, wow. That was way more damage than I expected. He had like 250 when I first clicked on him. And then he just slowly but surely got chunked down by Fatal Bonds and Shadow Word. Guess that's what happens when you put it on the neutral creeps.
Yeah, once again, that spell just does way more damage than you'd expect it to. It's very surprising. It comes like slow but surely, and it just keeps on going. The damage just doesn't stop. Underestimates it, goes down.
Trying to interrupt this pull as best he can. Puppey will be able to bring 2 of the creeps over. Still, though, ooh, mid lane, big dive comes out. They managed to get the Invoker. Forev made the rotation over as a level 4 Tiny. Something that is kind of rare for offlaners, but this is the power of the Tiny, right? He's not really an offlaner that needs his ultimate to be able to gank. His basic abilities are good enough as is.
Yeah, he threw the line in into the Hex, and then just a gazillion disables. The TA getting a freebie. Probably going to build him that Blink Dagger. That's what most people go for nowadays, typically consider the better builds. Mid one also a very, very aggressive player that likes to get active early, so probably going to be looking for that quick Blink Dagger and start participating in fights.
MP picks up the level 6, and with that, they make a wraparound with the Lion and catch the Nyx Assassin. Pretty easy to get that kill, especially with the Lycan Ult. There's not much the Nyx Assassin can do without his own level 6, so...
Wait, how did TA kill him? Oh, the one illusion got the last hit?
I guess so. Midwan gets a little bit of extra cash, apparently, with the illusion rotation.
That's interesting. I was watching mid. I was like, how do you get the kill?
Midwan. Refraction, but it's going to be burned through so quickly, and a nicely placed Sunstrike from Tame My Wild will finish off the kill.
Yeah, really nice Sunstrike. TA is not a hero that wants to go down early on. Here that's very easy to pressure early on whenever you do have ways to break the refraction, and not a hero that's good from behind. Whenever she's behind, she sort of loses kill potential, especially if you go for that blink first. You're not able to get the high levels in meld early on. If you don't go the Deso and don't get the high levels in meld, you just don't do that much damage, especially versus heroes with that are typically considered pretty tanky. The Doom, Sven Warcry, Warlock killing people up. Things could get a little hairy if he doesn't get a decently timed Blink Dagger and some high levels in meld.
Nyx Assassin does have his level 6. It looks like they really want the Lycan, and they may just have him too. Lycan knows the dangers he's in, and they've actually spotted out Shochlo as well as the Doom. So it looks like instead Puppey may be the target here of this gank. As long as they hit the stun, they'll get the kill, but they miss it, and it will not be enough nuke damage by itself. Puppey's going to live and walks himself away, and now FlipSid actually need to start backing up because Midwan's going to make his first rotation over. He's got the Templar Assassin trap already slowing him down. Another one on its way in 3 more seconds. Turnaround stun will land on Puppey. Sunstrike, is that going to be enough? Almost! If only Vanscore's nuke could hit, but Vanscore turning around like that is actually going to cost him a death against Midwan. They're going to try and go on Midwan instead as the Warlock comes in and drops the Golem, but they only burn through the refraction, now hitting the stun. If they get a little bit lucky with the Golem hits, melds, they've got the burn damage on Midwan. He's got to find a way out of here. 2 more seconds, pops the wand, another meld is up, a refraction as well coming up in a second. Midwan might have just escaped this one. Meanwhile, the Warlock's going to be gone on by Roger. He's dead, absolutely. A question of whether or not our Templar Assassin, or maybe not. Roger actually surviving, looping around the tower. Midwan also survives, as both of the heroes in danger in the top lane will walk away with their life intact. Meanwhile, it looks like Tame My Wild went to the bottom lane, but Forev not one to be caught out.
Yeah, getting that bot tower. The Sven already has his HUD and 1k gold, so gonna be building up very quickly.
Puppey. That's a dangerous TP, but I guess that's what you can do with the tankiest support in the game.
Yeah. Sidoi actually scouting out Dire's Ancient stack, so they may look to steal that before the TA can take it.
How exactly do you kind of do that, right? Because contesting Ancient is always a little bit difficult. It's deep in the enemy's side. There's usually high grounds you have to play around. What would your plan be if you were FlipSid?
I mean, I think you just have to wait for the Doom to get level 6 and the Golem to be up. Then you can. I think you could probably just smoke over there, kill it really quickly with the Sven, and then just sort of walk your way out.
Mid-1. Oh, another miss stun there from Shochlo. The stun from the Lion certainly not going to miss, but the Sunstrike, it won't miss either. And that means Mid-1 is now down for the count. Forev TP's a bit too late. FlipSid are here in force, and I don't think they're going away anytime soon. With Force Spirits and the damage coming out from Sidoi, it looks like they'll have this mid-tier 1 tower nice and early, further loosening the grip that Secret has over that Ancient stack.
Talking about controlling the Ancients, losing this tower makes it very, very hard for the TA to hold control over Ancients in her jungle. Especially necessary whenever she is falling behind, sort of like she's now. Not really behind, but not at the tempo she'd want to be, considering how good of a start she had with those 2 kills and the good CS. So losing control of this mid area, not as easy to make rotations or you know, get up your early items. So definitely not the start you want to have, especially on such a playmaker player as Mid-1 is.
And it seems like Roger has kind of made that read as well, right? The ward being laid down near the Ancient stack. He managed to catch that one with a counter ward and a ward of his own. And this means that Secret, they need to be able to find a way to start clearing through this. Mid-1, he's probably going to push out bottom, start working on it soon. Don't want to leave those stacks up for too long. FlipSid, they've got a stack of their own, of course, with a Sven. And having that Helmet Dominator, he's going to get a pretty quick Echo Saber into Blink Dagger, I'm sure, and be a nice active force around 20 minutes in. Secret, meanwhile, still yet to be able to take this tier 1 offlane tower. Secret smoke up with Forev and Pylai die, and I thought they were going to try and wrap around behind the offlane tower. Instead, it looks like they're searching for a mid-kill, but FlipSid playing very conservatively right now.
Yeah, they definitely know what's up. looks like they're going to make a smoke of their own. Maybe try and wrap on mid one and then take the Ancients afterward. Mid one walking towards his team, so they may just go straight for the Ancients, even though it's only a 2-stack.
Yeah, not too much gold is going to be made of this, but well, they're going to sit in the high ground here, see if they're lucky enough for mid one to push mid and then wrap into the Ancients and get caught out by this smoke. Vanscore's trying to position himself a little bit more aggressively, and Seedoy will take the Ancient stack for now. They were right, though. Mid one was going to wrap around just as they kind of expected. Shoshlo will be able to land that stun. Refraction holds most of the damage at bay, but eventually burns through, and mid one, maybe, yeah, is going to go down. The last bit of damage will eat through the second refraction, and now they'll still TP in, defend their tier 2 tower. They've taken the stack, keeping mid 1 down. Everything's looking pretty good for FlipSid Tactics. Not too much to worry about, even the Doom. Well, Doom's going to be saved. A nice Warlock Golem going to be dropped. Now the Disarm goes out on the Lycan. Lycan's going to get burned to death by the Doom, and Doom survives. They look for more. Forev takes a spot of damage. FlipSid just don't really have the disables to keep these heroes and catch them. 5-4 now, as FlipSid Tactics turn yet another team fight.
Yeah. Vanscore, that value buckler, living on 8 HP. Really, really nice itemization. Versus the Lycan and the TA, once again, they're going to start building up these armor items and probably going for the mech or maybe just the casual buckler, probably picking up the Vlads as well, going into some other armor items. And like if those heroes are behind and the other team starts picking up armor items, the game just starts becoming really difficult. You just can't seem to get kills.
Ogre going to be caught by a rotation from the Nyx Assassin. Always nice to have an Invoker on your team with that global presence of the Sunstrike. Toss back of Vanscore straight to the stun from Pylai Die with mid one closing the distance. Nice dodge on the Nyx Assassin stun. Mid one will be able to keep on right-clicking and finish off the Doom. But they are losing a lot of ground at top lane. FlipSid Tactics, they've already taken the tier 1, and with the Sven red and angry, they're going to take the tier 2 as well without much contest.
The Invoker already coming down to bottom to push this lane out, so getting all their lanes out, but Seeker going to try and go for this Roshan. Sort of a desperation play. The TA, with only 2 levels in meld, it's not going to be that quick. FlipSid may end up sniffing this thing out.
Yeah, they already had the ward down. FlipSid did. Nice counter ward situation, though. They can actually get this kill on Shoshlo. That'll be big, but a turnaround 3-man stun. A Sunstrike Rana on the edge will do some damage to Puppey as well as Pylai Die. Seedoy is here in the neighborhood. The Doom's making his way over to Roshan as well. Roger, he poked his head in first. He may actually go down immediately as the target of Secret's Vengeance, but they're going to be able to go on the Doom as well. And chasing Tame My Wild back. Looks like FlipSid Tactics just a bit too split until finally Seedoy to the rescue. Turns around with a nuke, and they manage to get that kill. Mid one is going to be chased away as well. He may end up going down. Pylai Die not hit by the Sunstrike, but the Four Spirits will claim the kill as well. Templar Assassin goes down inside the pit. A 2 for 3 so far. But FlipSid, they're not done yet. They want the last remaining heroes of Team Secret. MP, he's going to pop the ultimate. Oh no, he runs straight into Puppey. Fortunately, Puppey didn't get hit by that stun, but it doesn't matter. Seedoy is too big. He managed to take down the Lycan. Puppey, he goes for a couple kills of his own. He managed to find 2, and now it's just him versus Seedoy. Mano a mano, plus the extra help of the pets. Lycan Wolves blocking Seedoy, keeping him away from Puppey. Seedoy checks the pit, checks on the HP of Roshan, but I'm not sure this is a fight he can actually do all by himself. He gets bashed up by Roshan. Forev's coming across. He's got the combination ready to go. If he goes on Puppey here, he may be caught in a trap. Forev close the distance, gets a combination, brings Seedoy low, but now Roger here once again to the rescue. Manages to get the perfect ultimate laid down, gives Seedoy the space. They'll turn around and go for the Warlock instead. The stun goes out onto the Tiny. Roger's just hoping to get a little lucky with some Warlock Golem bashes, but doesn't actually happen. Secret will back themselves away. Not too happy with the way this situation has gone, especially if they lose mid one. Shoshlo's still coming in. Mid one gets burnt down by the Invoker's combination, and they still manage to get the stun on Pylai Die. Vanscore closes the distance, manages to get the Infernal Blade, slowing down Pylai Die with the nuke. Gets him as well. 2 down already. FlipSid taking a lead here in this inevitable contest for Roshan. Right now, they're up 4 against 3. Secret seemingly don't want to give Roshan up still, despite not having that numbers advantage. They're still going to try and contest. As you can see, Forev throws a bit of damage here into Seedoy. Vanscore is going to try and tank the Roshan, but it's only at 4k HP. And it's going to be taking them way too long to actually finish off Roshan. Team Secret will be back up by then.
Yeah, Roger is coming over, so probably going to heal up the Sven. Looks like Sun's actually just gonna heal up himself with the HOD. Maybe go back to base, picking up the Blink Dagger now. And the God Strength he used on the Roshan just there was Arcane Rune, so by the time he gets back with the Blink Dagger, we'll be up. So not really a window where Secret can try and finish this thing off. And mid one went from being top of the net worth to having 5 deaths and still not having a Blink Dagger at 17 minutes. Absolutely brutal. The Doom picking out almost as a 4-staff now, so gonna be even harder for the heroes to lock down somebody. On flip side, Roger's heal has been placed perfectly, fight after fight after fight, getting on them really, really early and keeping them alive, getting the full duration of heals, as well as just counter-initiating with the rock. So Roger playing really, really well in these early fights.
Flip side, scouting a little bit with Shachlo. The fight over Roshan is not over yet. Secret, they've already invested so much into being able to get this Roshan. Haven't managed to claim the life yet. They cannot afford to give this one up. They're hoping for another fight around the Roshan pit that they'll this time go in their favor, but it's looking pretty rough with now the initiation available from Seedoy with his Blink Dagger, and Secret lacking an initiation of their own. As you said, no Blink on the TA, and it looks like Forev hasn't gone for a Blink Dagger just yet either. There's a Blink actually on the Templar Assassin, but even now, it's looking a bit lackluster, especially against the tankiness of these supports like the Doom. Doom will snag an invis right in front of mid one. They'll still manage to catch him, though. Manage to get the Hick stun, lead down the counter wards. They're going to try and burst him down. It looks like they will manage to get it pretty easily. Secret are 5-man right in front of the Roshan pit, and they just found a pick. Are they going to try and complete the big boy finally?
Yeah, it looks like it. Flipside are going to contest this, though, so Sunstrike coming in, not really hitting anyone.
Oh, let's see what Seedoy could do. God Strength already popped. He comes in with Golem. Manages to get the 2-man stun in the cleave. Ripping Team Secret apart. He claims Roshan, grabs the Aegis. 2 down from Team Secret. They thought they could do it, but Flipside contests beautifully. And Secret will lose a 3rd as well as Puppey will inevitably drop Flipside Tactics now. A huge lead in game number 1.
Yeah, Flipside always picking these heroes, always making sure they have the better team fight, and so they can always take fights if there's ever an objective that they're trying to contest. Even whenever 1 or 2 heroes are dead, they have so many big ultimates that they can fight it anyways, and getting the really nice double stun. Zidoy not hitting the heroes, realizing the Roshan was low, and dropping an item, taking that while they were stunned. So just an absolute disaster for Secret. Mid one's getting still really, really far away from his Deso, and now with all these towers down, it's gonna be really hard for him to catch up and farm any damage items. Just really, Secret falling low on damage.
Warlock Golem is down, as well as God Strength. The Team Secret were hoping to be able to fight this one, but it starts off pretty bad for them. The Lion has already been picked, and now Forev starts getting kited around. That Ice Wall's not going to help either. Forev does manage to get a decent toss back. Nyx Assassin underneath the tier 3 tower will go down in exchange for the Tiny's life. 70-12. Team Secret, despite trying to force that fight, will come out on the losing end, 1-2.
Yeah, getting a little bit too over aggressive, no real creeps nearby. Rev getting the nice toss back into the base. Sort of salvaging that fight there, making that little skirmish basically break even, but still losing the tier 2 mid, not a tower you want to be giving up. Gives you massive control over the enemy jungle, as well over this Ancients area, giving you sort of free roam to walk around and pressure there. Really cutting off Secret's map now, and Lycan not even Necro 3 yet. They really don't have their core items they need to have to be able to take down these tanky heroes, especially with all these kiting items they have. The Blink Dagger, the Warp Crown, Sven, Yules on Invoker, 4 Staff, and the Scorched Earth on Doom.
There's a Talisman of Evasion on Roger. Like, that, if that doesn't say how farmed these supports are. And, like, that's a big problem, right? Like, the cores on Flipside being farmed, like, that's expected to happen. But the fact that you have no real easy pickoffs for any of your cores, like TA, Lycan, as well as the Tiny, all rely on free support kills, essentially, and they won't have them. In fact, quite the contrary, we're going to see Forev get gone on by supports. Nyx Assassin leaves the way, Vanscore follows it up, and the Warlock will help a little bit as well, 18-12 now, as another pick for Flipside leads to another objective. Tier 2 tower looks to be their mark, but first Seedoy wants to see if he can kill Puppey. With the help of the Sunstrike, he comes close, but Puppey now starts getting some distance. A little help from Pylai Die with the stun will get them time to get away. Flipside still go for the tier 2 at bottom lane. They'll have it too.
Really nice cheeky play there from MP, hitting him with one of the wolves, moving the other behind him so he can't cleave them both, and then just hitting him every couple of seconds so he can't blink after Puppey.
At this point, Secret, well, mid one's doing whatever he can. I was about to say, like, what do you do? How do you create space? Mid one, he quickly pushes down mid and claims the tier 1, but FlipSid really aren't giving Secret too much space. They go high ground. They've got the Aegis. They might as well. BKB's ready to go on Seedoy as well.
Yeah, Vanscore's a little bit far away, so running in right now. They have a very small window. Looks like they're going to try and use it. MP
throws his wolves as well as his Necronomicon. Oh, Vanscore actually gets a little bit stuck. Good thing he had a Force Staff there to be able to get him out of that conundrum he was in. Secret, that's an ultimate burned, and nothing comes of it. FlipSid, back up, heal straight up to full, and they will push high ground again.
Yeah, nothing really used on FlipSid, the Necros and the ultimate use from Lycan, so he's essentially a glorified creep at this point. It looks like he is just going to go farm. Not really anything he can do to help hold the base.
Is it just better to almost like, you know, poke and prod, but you're probably thinking we're giving up this tier, we're giving up this bottom lane. Oh.
I don't know, look, they're defending okay right now with the ignites and like just spamming tosses. Mid one trying to get some side blades off. It's sort of hard for them to keep pushing.
Yeah, it really is. Seedoy, he's going to drop his Aegis here, actually, as the toss finishes them off with a little bit of an urn charge. So nicely played. Maybe they can actually hold without their Lycan and without his ultimate. We're going to see FlipSid Tactics go in again, knowing that with some of the, well, like that Lycan ultimate being on cooldown, they still have an advantage, and they're going to find their opportunity. They managed to get a 3-man stun coming out for the Warlock Golems. Seedoy follows that one up and takes down 2. Vanscore will chase away the 3rd. That's going to be Forev doomed up all the way back to the tier 4 towers. He may end up going down. He's going to try and make his way to the fountain, but either way, the lane of Rax is going to have some problems here. Shochlo already setting himself up a tower inside the enemy base. Stun comes out, managed to land on the Lycan while he's in ultimate form, and the Stormbolt also follows that one up. They're delaying this Lycan's progression pretty well. They managed to get a 2-man stand. No! FlipSid find the opening. Secret's positioning in team fights is a notable weakness, and FlipSid just pounce on that one. They get the 2-man stun straight into the fireball, and FlipSid Tactics force the GG out of Team Secret in this game 1 nice and early.
Yeah, just making really, really nice rotations all the game long. Reading that rotation from mid 1 up to his ancient area, taking that early mid tower off of a couple kills on mid 1. Really just the story, sort of the story of the game. Shutting down the Team Secret's biggest playmaker, taking control of their map early on, and with a superior team fight, whenever you're behind, with worse team fight, the game just becomes almost impossible because it's hard to get pickoffs because they sort of group up and just walk around, and you can't fight them at towers, so just not really that much of a way for Secret back into the game, and FlipSid take game 1.
Yeah, FlipSid Tactics, they got a draft that they have shown the last few series of theirs that they're very comfortable with, and they take it to Team Secret real easily in this game 1 in a best of 5 finals. This is a qualifying